Amelia's story matches Josh's almost exactly.
I didn't know anything. I had never been back there. I knew nothing.
If you tell me to say that there are pink elephants flying around this room, I will tell them that.
Amelia went there to get direction, to find out what was going on, and to make sure that Josh kept his mouth shut.
Trying to get some things together, we try to sort out some differences and get a clear understanding.
And after this, no one else has seen her or knows where she's at.
Slaying of Heather Strong. The tragic case of Heather Strong unfolded in February 2009, when she met a horrifying end in Marion County, Florida. Born on March 23, 1982, Heather's life was cut short at the age of 26 on February 15, 2009. Her abduction and subsequent slaying shocked the community and led to a complex legal battle to bring her perpetrators to justice. The primary suspect in this gruesome crime was Emilia Lily Carr, who was entangled in a bitter romantic rivalry with Strong over a man they had both been involved with. Carr vehemently denied any involvement in the heinous act and claimed that her statements had been coerced by authorities. Nevertheless, the evidence and circumstances surrounding the case pointed toward her complicity. In December 2010, Emilia Carr was tried and ultimately found guilty of Heather Strong's kidnapping and slaying. The severity of the crime led to a sentence of demise by lethal injection, a punishment that reflected the gravity of her actions. At the time, Carr was one of 5 women on demise row in the state of Florida, underscoring the rarity of such cases involving female perpetrators. In a turn of events on May 19, 2017, Emilia Carr's sentence was reevaluated, resulting in a modification. She was resentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
Amelia's story matches Josh's almost exactly.
So she could go to work. And once
What? She would ask you to babysit the kids?
So we need you to come up with something so that we can get him. And see, that's what they kept telling me, is that they wanted him.
I think she had been worn down to the point where...
Because that's what was told to me.
Because she was involved.
Quite frankly, if you confess...
That's what we were talking about, the baby, because I went to court today and they won't even release my kids to any of my family.
This adjustment in her sentence signified a significant legal development in her case. Joshua Fulham, Heather Strong's husband and Emilia Carr's co-accused, was also embroiled in the criminal proceedings. He faced charges of first-degree slaying and kidnapping in relation to Strong's tragic demise. In a separate trial, where he entered a guilty plea, Joshua Fulham received consecutive life sentences in prison for his role in the slaying. This outcome solidified the culpability of both Carr and Fulham in the horrifying events that led to Heather Strong's untimely demise. The slaying of Heather Strong stands as a grim reminder of the profound impact that crimes of this nature have on individuals, families, and communities. It also highlights the complexities and challenges that arise in the pursuit of justice. The legal proceedings, from Carr's initial conviction to the subsequent resentencing, demonstrate the meticulous scrutiny and evaluation that cases of this magnitude undergo within the criminal justice system. Ultimately, Heather Strong's tragic fate serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of upholding justice and seeking closure for victims and their loved ones. Her memory lives on through the legal proceedings that sought to hold those responsible for her demise accountable for their actions. Background: Emilia Lily Carr, born Emilia Yera on August 4, 1984, grew up as the second of 3 sisters. A psychologist estimated her IQ to be 125, indicating above-average intellectual capacity. However, her early life was marked by significant challenges and trauma. At the age of 15, Carr reported experiencing misuse by her father to her school authorities. This alarming revelation led to an investigation, but she eventually withdrew her statement. This situation suggests a complex family dynamic and raises questions about the support system available to Carr during her formative years. In February 2004, Carr's father faced a grave legal situation when he was convicted of attempting to solicit the slayings of his own family members, including Emilia, her mother, and one of her sisters. This shocking event resulted in a 4-year prison sentence for Carr's father. The details surrounding this case paint a picture of a deeply troubled family environment that likely had a lasting impact on Carr. Carr's personal life was further marked by turbulent relationships. She had been married twice and took legal action against one of her ex-husbands, obtaining a restraining order due to incidents of domestic violence. Her involvement in her ex-husband's grand theft of exotic birds led to a 2-year probation sentence, illustrating a history of legal entanglements. By the time of the slaying, Carr was a mother of 3, one of whom she shared with her ex-boyfriend, Jamie Acomb.
Everything is on the
from
record.
here on out is on the record. You were there when she died.
I didn't know anything. I had never been back there. I knew nothing.
And puts the act on Josh, saying that he's the one that suffocated her.
So if Josh sat on her lap, or if Amelia sat on her lap,
Tell me the relationship between you, Josh, and Heather.
The complexity of Carr's personal life, marked by multiple relationships and legal issues, adds layers of complexity to her background. In November 2008, Carr became engaged to Joshua Damian Fulham. However, in a surprising turn of events, Fulham married Heather Strong just 1 month later. Despite this development, Carr maintained communication with both Fulham and Strong and even played a role in caring for Strong's 2 children. This interconnectedness among the 3 individuals foreshadowed a tragic outcome. In January 2009, Fulham's behavior took a dangerous turn when he was arrested for threatening Strong with a shot arm. Although initially charged with aggravated attack with a firearm, the charge was eventually dropped, leading to his release. Investigators later uncovered that Carr had resorted to threatening Strong with a knife in an attempt to coerce her into withdrawing her criminal complaint against Fulham. This pattern of manipulation and intimidation demonstrates a concerning dynamic in Carr's relationships. As the legal battles over the custody of Fulham and Strong's 2 children unfolded, tensions escalated. The custody dispute further underscored the complexity of their relationships and the emotional stakes involved. The background of Emilia Lily Carr paints a vivid picture of a life marked by trauma, turbulent relationships, legal entanglements, and intricate connections with those involved in the tragic events that would ultimately unfold. Understanding Carr's history is crucial in comprehending the context within which the slaying of Heather Strong took place. It provides valuable insight into the factors that may have contributed to the deeply distressing outcome that followed. Heather Strong's tragic end. The slaying of Heather Strong is a tragic and deeply disturbing event that occurred in Florida in February 2009. Heather Strong, a 26-year-old resident of Citra, Florida, was employed at an iron skillet restaurant located at a Petro gas station next to Interstate 75 in Reddick. On February 15 of that year, she disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Her disappearance raised immediate concern, prompting her family and authorities to launch a search for her. Unfortunately, her whereabouts remained unknown for over a month. Tragically, on March 19, 2009, Heather Strong's remains were discovered in a shallow grave near a storage trailer in Boardman, close to McIntosh, Florida. This discovery marked a heartbreaking turn of events, confirming the worst fears of those who cared for Heather. The circumstances surrounding her demise were deeply unsettling, and it was evident that her life had been brutally taken from her. The investigation into Heather Strong's disappearance and subsequent slaying led law enforcement to Emilia Lily Carr. Carr's involvement in the crime was a chilling revelation. She was arrested on March 24, 2009, following a series of suspicious statements she made to authorities. These statements, totaling 10 in number, were made without the presence of an attorney, casting a shadow of suspicion over her actions. Furthermore, detectives went to great lengths to gather evidence, including recording undercover audio of Carr discussing the details of the crime with Joshua Fulham's sister.
So we were home and we were cooking dinner, and it had to be about 7 or 7:30, and we get a knock at the back door.
Okay, you don't want something to bite you in the behind if you know something.
Oh, no.
Okay?
if you tell me to say that there are pink elephants flying around this room, I will tell them that.
they both could have stopped this.
Because I didn't accept the plea because I wasn't gonna sign my life away for something I didn't do.
In the aftermath of Heather Strong's slaying, the investigation took a further twist. Joshua Fulham, Heather's estranged husband, was arrested on suspicion of fraud for using her credit cards after her disappearance. This development added another layer of complexity to the case, as it raised questions about Fulham's involvement and potential motivations. Emilia Carr's pregnancy added a uniquely troubling dimension to the case. In March 2009, while in custody at the Marion County Jail, Carr gave birth to her fourth child. This event was undoubtedly fraught with complexity as it raised concerns about the future of the child and the broader implications for Carr's family. During the course of the investigation, Carr provided a confession to investigators. However, she maintained that she had only done so in the desperate hope of being reunited with her children. This confession, along with the chilling details surrounding the crime, painted a grim picture of Carr's role in Heather Strong's untimely demise. The slaying of Heather Strong stands as a chilling testament to the depths of human cruelty. The calculated and brutal nature of the crime, coupled with the subsequent legal proceedings, serves as a stark reminder of the capacity for darkness within individuals. The tragedy of Heather Strong's demise and the subsequent impact on her family and community serve as a somber reminder of the need for justice and the imperative of cherishing and protecting the sanctity of human life. Trials of Amelia Carr and Joshua Fulham. The trials of Amelia Carr and Joshua Fulham unfolded in a protracted legal process that examined the intricate details surrounding the brutal slaying of Heather Strong. These trials marked a significant chapter in the legal history of Marion County, Florida, as they navigated through a complex web of evidence, testimonies, and legal arguments. Following their arrest in April 2009, both Amelia Carr and Joshua Fulham opted to waive their right to a speedy trial during their arraignment. This strategic move allowed for an extended period of preparation for their defense, as well as a deeper exploration of the evidence surrounding the case. Prosecutor Rock Hooker responded by promptly filing notice of his intent to pursue the demise penalty for the heinous nature of the crime. As the legal proceedings advanced, Amelia Carr sought a continuance for her trial in November 2009. She expressed concerns about the preparedness of her defense attorney, Candace Hawthorne. However, State Circuit Judge Willard Pope denied this request, setting the stage for an extensive and rigorous trial process. In December 2010, the trial against Amelia Carr reached a critical juncture.
Off into another room where there weren't cameras in their offices and things like that and talked to me.
Josh's sister and Josh's family.
She was a single mother raising two kids, always showed up for work.
Amelia went there to get direction, to find out what was going on, and to make sure that Josh kept his mouth shut.
And he taped it, and I pulled the tape, and he taped it. I made a little attempt.
Notably, despite Carr receiving the demise penalty, Joshua's jury voted 8-4 in favor of sentencing him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge respected the jury's recommendation, solidifying Fulham's fate. Amelia Carr was subsequently placed in the annex at Lowell Correctional Institution in Marion County, Florida. Her presence among the small number of women on Demise Row underscored the gravity of her actions and the subsequent legal ramifications. Her case, alongside that of Joshua Fulham, served as a significant milestone in the legal history of Marion County, leaving an enduring mark on the local legal landscape. On May 19, 2017, Amelia Carr's sentence was reevaluated, culminating in a revised judgment of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. This decision brought closure to a long and arduous legal journey, ultimately shaping the legacy of the Heather Strong slaying case. The trials of Amelia Carr and Joshua Fulham stand as a testament to the complexities and intricacies inherent in the pursuit of justice for such a heinous crime. Demise sentence for Amelia Carr. Amelia Carr faced a significant legal reckoning on February 22, 2011, as she received the most severe penalty under Florida law for her role in the kidnapping and slaying of Heather Strong. The verdict marked a pivotal moment in Carr's legal journey, making her only the second woman currently on Florida's Demise Row. The decision was the culmination of a meticulous legal process that had unfolded over nearly 2 years. Circuit Judge Willard Pope, presiding over his first demise penalty case, delivered the sentence, affirming the jury's 7-5 recommendation for Carr's ending. The judge emphasized the gravity of Carr's actions, deeming them necessitating the ultimate penalty. Carr, facing the prospect of demise for first-degree slaying and a consecutive life sentence for kidnapping, received the news with a demeanor of resignation. She then addressed the court, asserting her conviction was a result of being convicted of telling a lie. However, Carr's sentence was not final. It was subject to an automatic review by the Florida Supreme Court, a process that promised to further scrutinize the complex legal nuances of her case. Attorneys expressed differing opinions on how the state's highest court would ultimately rule. Carr's defense attorney, Candace Hawthorne expressed skepticism, suggesting that the slim majority of the jury's demise recommendation might be a point of contention. On the other hand, State Attorney Brad King supported Judge Pope's ruling, expressing confidence that it would likely be upheld, citing precedent cases with similar aggravating circumstances.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I saw it, buddy. Take it.
And then you got back in your car?
And I went back down.
You know there's video at Petrol, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, they got cameras all around it.
No video. Hey,
Hey,
tired?
I'm exhausted. About my bedtime.
And I wish she was here.
Trying to get some things together. We try to sort out some differences and get a clear understanding.
Despite the contentious nature of the jury's 7-5 recommendation, Judge Pope underscored its statutory validity, as even this slim majority was legally sufficient for the imposition of the demise penalty, particularly in a case where the evidence was deemed overwhelming. In a solemn conclusion to the hearing, Judge Pope conveyed his words directly to Carr, invoking a plea for divine mercy upon her soul. The case also involved Joshua Fulham, Strong's estranged husband and co-defendant, who faced his own trial. Both Fulham and Carr were accused of orchestrating Strong's slaying, creating a complex dynamic within a quasi-love triangle. The motive stemmed from Fulham's distress over Strong's intention to relocate with their children. Carr had previously threatened Strong with a knife to expedite Fulham's release from jail, indicating the depth of her involvement. Emilia Carr's sentencing marked a significant milestone in Marion County's legal history. She joined the ranks of only a handful of women in Florida sentenced to demise. The decision was met with mixed emotions, with Carr's mother expressing her hope for a life sentence without parole, highlighting the profound impact of the verdict on the individuals involved. The sentencing of Emilia Carr reverberated through the legal landscape, leaving an indelible mark on the community and the broader discourse surrounding capital punishment. Emilia Carr breaks silence. Emilia Carr's assertion of innocence, following her conviction for first-degree slaying and kidnapping, sheds light on a case that has captivated Marion County, Florida. In an interview, Carr, then 26 years old and incarcerated in Marion County Jail, declared that she had no involvement in the tragic events surrounding Heather Strong's demise. During Carr's subsequent trial, the prosecution wove a narrative of a love triangle that took a deadly turn. They depicted Carr as being inside the trailer where Strong met her untimely end, suffocated to demise. However, Carr fervently maintained that she had no knowledge of the tragic events that transpired in her mother's storage trailer on that fateful night. According to Carr, her initial interaction with law enforcement was fraught with intimidation tactics. She alleges that authorities immediately resorted to threats involving her children. Unbeknownst to her, Marion County Sheriff's detectives were monitoring a conversation between Carr and Fulham's sister. In this conversation, Carr purportedly placed herself inside the trailer, inadvertently implicating herself in the slaying. Carr's account of the situation suggested that she fabricated details during this exchange. She expressed that the pressure to provide specific information was intense, as authorities insisted on obtaining these details before considering any form of immunity. With the weight of a possible demise sentence hanging over her, Carr voiced her confusion regarding the grounds upon which she was convicted. Her defense revolved around the assertion that she was not present during the tragic events, and her statements were products of coercion and intimidation.
A confession beat out of them by law enforcement.
They befriend you. They just want to clear this up. They want to clear your name.
Yes, I was told prior to trial and the day that the trial began.
Somewhere about the 10th, 11th, or 12th of February.
Just a lot of things growing up.
The ultimate fate of Emilia Carr rested in the hands of Marion County Judge Willard Pope. He was tasked with deciding whether Carr would be sentenced to life in prison or face the demise penalty. This pivotal decision would be rendered on February 22nd, a date that would hold significant implications for Carr's future. Emilia Carr's statement served as a poignant reminder of the complexity surrounding her case. Her assertion of innocence stood in stark contrast to the evidence presented during her trial, underscoring the intricacies of the legal process. The haunting backdrop of a love triangle gone awry and the tragic loss of Heather Strong further imbued this case with a sense of gravity and sorrow. Chilling confession. In the trial of Emilia Carr, accused of first-degree slaying and kidnapping, a crucial piece of evidence emerged in the form of an incriminating conversation captured on tape. This revelation was presented on December 3, 2010, shedding new light on the case. The conversation provides startling details of Carr's involvement in the heinous crime that claimed the life of 26-year-old Citra woman Heather Strong in 2009. During the hour-long tape, Carr confessed to her role in the brutal act, leaving no room for doubt about her complicity. Her words painted a grim picture of the events that transpired inside a storage trailer, where attempts were made to subdue Strong by breaking her neck before resorting to suffocation using a black plastic bag. The recorded conversation took place between Carr and Michelle Gustafson, the sister of Joshua Fulham, who was intimately connected to the case. Carr's chilling admission provided a vivid account of the events, leaving little doubt about her active participation. Gustafson's questions were direct and unflinching, seeking to uncover the truth. Carr's responses were a shocking affirmation of her involvement. She admitted to actively assisting in the crime, leaving no room for ambiguity. The chilling nature of Carr's confession left an indelible mark on the courtroom. Following this damning conversation on March 24, 2009, detectives promptly approached the vehicle. Carr's arrest followed, underscoring the significance of her admission. The impact of Carr's words resonated in the courtroom, with jurors given written transcripts to review.
I didn't know anything. I had never been back there. I knew nothing.
Michelle's fine. I appreciate you asking about her. She was kind of...
From the very beginning,
to being there. Tell me what happened.
so he kind of used that as a way to, hey, you know.
Fact-finding type interview. In this interview, we had the facts.
While Carr attempted to suppress her statements ahead of the trial, Circuit Judge Willard Pope ordered redactions instead. This decision ensured that Carr's words, including her expressions of concern for her children's well-being, remained part of the trial's record. Throughout the recordings, Carr's demeanor remained composed, belying the gravity of the situation. She provided a detailed account of the events leading up to Strong's tragic end, shedding light on the motivations and actions that unfolded that fateful night. Carr's confession, captured in that crucial tape, stands as a pivotal moment in the trial, offering a stark and unvarnished account of her involvement in the heinous crime. The impact of her words reverberated through the courtroom, leaving no doubt about the gravity of the situation. Impact on society. Emilia Carr's case has left a profound impact on society, particularly within the local community and in broader discussions surrounding criminal justice. The heinous nature of the crime and Carr's subsequent conviction sent shockwaves through the community, leading to heightened fear and concerns about safety. This case has played a significant role in the ongoing debate about the demise penalty. It prompted discussions on the ethics, effectiveness, and fairness of capital punishment, with some advocating for its abolition. Furthermore, Carr's alleged history of misuse brought attention to the issue of domestic violence. Her case sparked conversations about the need for better support systems and resources for individuals facing such situations. The impact on the victim's family has been profound and enduring, as they had to grapple with the loss of a loved one and navigate the complexities of the legal process. Additionally, the case prompted scrutiny of law enforcement practices, particularly in the handling of confessions and interrogations. Some question whether Carr's statements were obtained under duress. Emilia Carr's conviction set a legal precedent in Marion County, especially concerning cases involving severe crimes and potential imposition of the demise penalty. The extensive media coverage surrounding the case amplified its impact on society. The sensationalism around Carr's appearance and alleged involvement in the crime further fueled public interest and discussion.
Is that right? I'm not talking to you in sign language. I'm talking to you person to person.
Knew that he was involved. He, after he confessed, he told.
We asked her if she was willing to help us catch Emilia.
The totality of the case with Emilia was riding on her conversation with Michelle, so that she can find out actually what we know based off the listening and recording device that we had placed in Michelle's car.
And after this, no one else has seen her or knows where she's at.
This case also became a focal point for those advocating for reforms in the criminal justice system. It highlighted concerns about potential biases, the quality of legal representation, and the need for comprehensive evaluations of mitigating factors. Some argue that cases like Carr's serve as a deterrent against similar crimes. The severity of the punishment may dissuade potential offenders. Advocates emphasize the importance of considering Carr's mental health and history of trauma in understanding her actions. This case contributed to conversations about the intersection of mental health and criminal behavior. Overall, Emilia Carr's case has touched on various aspects of criminal justice, mental health, and community safety, leaving a lasting impact on society. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.